What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about XRP today. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this. You guys, thank you all for being here, and let's get into it. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. It is the 25th of December right now. We are about 5 hours into the new day, and I want to look at the price action as it stands right now. So if we look at this right here in this, what I would identify as a bull flag, undeniably that's a bull flag, man. I've been going through the bull flag charts, man. We talked about XLM, HBAR, XRP, they all got these bull flags right now. And HBAR, of which, by the way, we'll talk about HBAR real quick and then we'll come back to XRP. HBAR is breaking out of its flag, right? And being that this chart looks very similar to this chart, I'm thinking, and they all moved at the same time, I'm thinking XRP, HBAR might be a little leading indicator as to what's to come for XRP. Hint, hint, breaking out of this flag to the upside. It's coming soon, my friends, very soon, right? This move is happening now. It just doesn't feel like it until we're broken out, right? But if we look at this here, you look at the price action, you have a low here, closing low here. It is slightly, oh so slightly lower here, but on a closing basis, it's almost like a double bottom, right? On the RSI, you have significantly lower lows. I would say that that is some form of hidden bullish divergence, but technically it is a lower low, so whatever. You know, lower low here and a lower low in price, technically just barely a lower low in price, but I would still say that that's a good look on the RSI. I like that you're finding support at the 50 area and moving up. It's an area that you found resistance before. You found support kind of like this before where you went just below the 50 back here and then up. Resistance and support back in this area as well. So, you know, definitely an area that we could look forward to moving upwards, sorry. Overall, higher lows here, higher highs, so I definitely think that you are ready to make that next phase up. Based off of the bull flag that we have, if we were to do a measured move, and I do this, I think I did this in my last video too, from a low to a high, the measured move would take us all the way to about $11. So XRP, based on that $11 move, somebody asked me what the measure move would be. I told them 6. I think I was wrong. I told them 6 and it's wrong. It should be actually $11 if that's the appropriate measure move. It's just above $11. And maybe we do get there. Maybe XRP does get there, but I don't think that that move happens by the end of January, right? The idea that I'm trying to propose here is where are we going to be by the next stop, right? Like by the end of this move, right? When's the next stopping point like this here, right? The overall cycle, it didn't stop here. It continued forward, but right now I don't think that we are in the middle of a stopping point like this was. I think we have more to go. Where's that stopping point going to be whenever we consolidate before we hit our final phase of the bull cycle, right? Or one of the final phases. I don't think it's going to be at 11 bucks. I don't think we do that now because primarily I would expect that Bitcoin and the rest of crypto by default would start to consolidate around the time of Trump's inauguration. I expect it to be a bullish event, right? And then once the event happens, the bullish effects of that will kind of dissipate for a time, right? It's going to be bullish in the long term, but the short term effects I think will go away. The hype will go away and we'll correct course a little bit from there. So where will we top off? I don't think it's going to be $11.45. The inauguration is on the 20th of January. I have a hard time seeing that kind of growth in that amount of time, even though, to be completely fair, we did that exact amount of growth last month. To be completely fair, right? Because that's exactly what this move is measured off of, right? It's between, I guess not last month. It was overall 20 days worth of movements, though, wasn't it? Let's see. From the low, where is that low there? From the low there to the high. I mean, that was 30 days of movement. So in about a month's time, I mean, yeah, to see that measure move, we could see it, but I doubt we do. I don't think that we're going to make that same move over the next month. I don't think an $11 XRP is possible in January. By the end of the cycle, sure, but in January, no. So in the end of January, what I'm expecting would be probably a move not based off the measure move, but based off of the relative fibs. From a high here to a low there, the next area that we would look for is the 1272, which you haven't hit yet. That is right at your current all-time highs at about $3.31 there. After that would be the 1414 at $4.34, and then after that is the 1618 at $6.41. I would say, and I do believe, XRP is completely capable. I know it might sound crazy, completely capable of seeing $6.41 XRP Army. You heard me correctly, $6.41 by the inauguration day that Trump is about to have in January 20th, right? that could happen. That's the highest that of these limits that I would give you, right? That's the high prediction. So now everybody in the comments who wants to troll, they're just going to focus on that price because that's the highest prediction. They're not going to focus on the rest of the predictions that I'm making, right? The minimum prediction of which was 331. We're at 230 now. With the move we had, I don't think it's any stretch of the imagination that we could reach 331 by the end of January. I think we could absolutely. That's well within our capabilities. 641, pushing it a little bit, but still within our capabilities. This middle target, though, at 434, I like that. I like that. That sounds rather doable. 229 now, 434 later. It could happen. A little bit above that. It's very common even to go just above the 1-4-1-4. Maybe you go up to $5. Who knows? By the end of this move, I want to get another fib drawn up on here. Maybe this high here to this low and see if we get anything. The 3113 lines up pretty well with that 1618, and that's kind of the limits normally of a shorter term fib is the 3113. Sometimes you get to the 3618 and stuff like that. 2272 is where he stops now. Yeah, I mean the next target based off of this would at least be 386 to 490, something like that. 386 to 490. The 1414 is right in the middle there. Again, the upper potential still leading around this area here at about $6 itself. So I really do feel comfortable with this 434 call. 434. Maybe reaching for $5, but not quite getting to $5. Certainly something that I think that would be at least at $4, if not higher, is what's coming for XRP over the next month. I definitely expect that. We look at the monthly RSI here, and you are at some of the strongest readings you've ever seen already, stronger readings than last cycle, right? So I think it's already obvious. Okay, I don't need to say it, but this cycle is going to be stronger than the last cycle, right? So in that sense, if we assume that this cycle will be stronger than the last cycle, from a low to a high, you saw an overall growth of almost 1,700%. From this cycle, from a low to a high, you've only grown 900%. So what's 1,700%? What would that put you at? Right? 1,700 is basically right there. Basically, well, like right there, basically the same. That put you at about $5.22. I think anybody who's arguing, and this is something you could take to the bank, any XRP person, you could explain this easily to anybody. And I'll leave you with this. This is a little bit of that something that you put in your back pocket to talk smack. If anybody's like, XRP can't go above $5, you can prove it right now. Ready? Look at the readings. RSI, stronger readings than you saw last cycle. Doesn't it just mean that it's going to go down if it's overbought? No. I mean, ideally, yes, you would sell when something's overbought. Ideally, yes, you would buy when something's oversold. But if you look here, if you sold here at the first instance of being overbought, first off, that was March 2017. Going into May, it was still overbought in June. If you sold here at the very first instance in March, you would have missed all this move. If you sold the top, you would have sold at a relatively good time, sure, but you would have missed still a whole lot. I mean, at the top, that was 40 cents. At the all-time high that happened a year later, not even, that was $3.40. You would have missed on a $3 move from 40 cents if you sold here. So no, being overbought is not a bad thing. A lot of people make that misconception. They think overbought's a bad thing, oversold's a good thing. You want to be overbought. That's when you get your strong moves to come in. That's where you show strength. And you only show strength when you're doing strong moves. You're showing more strength now than you ever did last cycle. The conclusion I'm making, the aha moment that you can put it in your back pocket and save it for later if you're ever talking trash amongst your crypto friends, is that already you're providing stronger readings than what you saw last cycle. By that definition, and this is on the monthly RSI, right? This is significant. There's no doubt in my mind this cycle will be stronger for XRP, at least, than the last cycle was for XRP. If it's going to be stronger, I would anticipate, and it already is stronger, I would anticipate an overall larger move from the overall low to the overall high. Last cycle, it was 1,685. If we did that same growth here, that would put you at $5.20 essentially, right? You're at $2.29 now. What this means, what this all means is simply this. $5.22, it's not just a possibility, it's not just a probability, it's essentially an inevitability. It's going to happen. You don't have to like it, but it's going to happen. Now let's run with this, okay? If this at least is going to happen, because we're going to do something stronger than last cycle. So what we know is not that we're going to stop here, but that we're going to go through here. How much higher can we go is the question, right? That's the next question, or at least in my opinion, that'd be the logical question. So if you look at this, going up to here at least, because I think that we're going to see a stronger cycle than last cycle, not an exact mimic of last cycle. So we would go up through here. To go up here at least, you'd break out of this overall zone, which you're in the midst of breaking out of now anyways. If you're going to break out of this overall zone, we'll take the high to the low in the fibs. And if you look at this, boom, The 1272, the minimum expected target based off of these fibs is $8.37. So by the principle of the idea here that you're going to see a stronger cycle than last cycle, the minimum target we have, and it's not even a target, it's just a minimum expectation of what we will exceed, is 522. If you're going to get that, you're probably going to play off of this high to low overall consolidation fib, which would imply that you're going to hit the minimum target of that fib, which happens to be at 837. So literally by default, by defining this based off of last cycle's overall growth and applying it to this cycle's overall growth, by defining this as the minimum expectation, we've already raised the bar from 522 all the way up to 837. There's no scenario this cycle, unless something catastrophically catatonic happened for Ripple Labs, Garlinghouse, and just anybody involved with XRP, right? If like this thing became illegal everywhere, if it became illegal, that actually might make it more valuable, but something terrible, unforeseeable would have to happen to change what I'm about to say. $8.37 is inevitable. It's inevitable. That's the minimum target. It literally is the minimum target. And if we have a defaulto to move up to 522 by default of this fib itself, that would mean we have a minimum expectation of 837. You're at 230 now. Somebody asked me, what's a safe bet? If I wanted to 3x my money, what's the safest bet right now? I think I listed XRP, but if I didn't list XRP, I really should have, because this thing, it's a surefire thing, man. At least a 3.6x is to come. That's at a minimum. Personally speaking, I don't lean toward the minimum expectations. I lean toward the higher expectations or the more realistic expectations. We've already made targets. We've already made hold on. People throwing fireworks. We've already made the assumption based off the measure move for XRP that we could see prices at $11. Well, if you go to $11, likely again, you would probably reach up to that 1414, seeing a $13.57 price, something like that, right? So this to me, the minimum expectation is $8.37, but a more realistic expectation, both based off the measure move and then also based off of it not being the minimum expectation, right? You're breaking out of this overall consolidation phase that you've been in for multiple cycles, seeing stronger readings than you've seen in multiple cycles. I wouldn't think you're doing all this now just to hit the minimum expectation. So seeing something I think around $11 to $15 makes more sense. I personally like that $13.57 to $15 area more. The highest potential you'd have is the 1618 all the way up to $27, but I personally don't see that happening this cycle. I see it happening for XRP, but not this cycle. That would be a near 12x, okay? XRP has 131 billion right now. A 12x would basically put it at a $1.6 trillion market cap, or more than that if I'm doing my math wrong, right? Something above $1.5 trillion, that's all I know, but not quite to 2 trillion. I don't know if XRP achieves that market cap this cycle. Right, that sounds a bit far-fetched for me. So still in the realm of possibilities based off the fibs, but based off of like a little applied logic and reasoning, what the size of the market cap might be. It's possible, and I hear all your reasons. I know there's a lot of people who say the market cap doesn't apply to XRP, blah, blah. I get it. I hear you, whatever. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I don't know. But to me, I have a hard time calling for something that's over $1.5 trillion whenever Bitcoin itself like really just broke that threshold, right? Just got comfortable breaking above that threshold. I don't know if XRP deserves that. Maybe I shouldn't say that. I think it does deserve it, just maybe not this cycle. So $27, something to consider. If somebody said, hey, I'll bet you $27 happens, I wouldn't bet them that it doesn't happen, because it could happen. I accept it as a possibility. I accept $8.37 as a possibility. I wouldn't bet anybody that that's the all-time high either, that that's where it tops, because that could happen. But I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think this is going to happen. What I more expect to happen would be something of like a 6x from here. I think XRP might be the safest 6x bet in the whole world. Literally, it might be the safest 6x bet from here. It's at 229 right now. I've given you everything that I can give you, my friends. I don't know what else to say. We can look at the ribbon real quick, and then we'll end it. I've been pulling out the ribbon for a few different things. Might be worth looking at. I mean, the monthly cross here, dude, this is super bullish. You're just getting started, right? Weekly looks fire. 3-day, can't even touch it. Daily, the daily looks really bullish, actually, right? You've contracted barely. you bled into the ribbon, you got into it, and then you closed out of it with yesterday's candle. Yesterday's candle closing out of it, it might not seem significant, but that is significant. After you close into the ribbon, once you close out of it, you tend to move up, especially when you have some contracting going on. It's not intense contracting, it's very mild, almost non-apparent, but it is there, and the rules still apply. Pair that up with the fact that you're breaking out of this bull flag. I think that XRP has a lot of growth to go. So that's it, everybody. If you like the video, hit the like button. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye.